tongue. The tongue is giant. It's huge. It's this big giant muscle in your mouth. And it basically does three things. It keeps the food on your teeth. In terms of digestion, your tongue is critical for being able to speak. All right, so like the sounds that we make, our talking is related to like the position of your tongue and how your mouth is open, but very much the position of your tongue. So it keeps the food on the teeth. Also kind of weird, it makes something called a bolus. And I think I defined bolus on the next page, sorry. A bolus is a ball of like chewed up food and saliva. Good times. Chewed up food and saliva, a bolus. And then when you're ready to swallow, it pushes it into the back of the mouth, into the pharynx, and that triggers the swallowing reflex. And I think for little babies, that's just part of the reason why you need to watch little kids like a hawk, that they are like toddlers or babies, because if they put something in their mouths, their swallowing is a reflex. So they will swallow. If it gets further in their back, they will just swallow. It's not like they're going to let it float around in their mouth to see what it is. It's like if it gets further in their back, they end up swallowing it. Also kind of interesting, if you've ever fed a baby, like it's beginning solid food before they have much in the way of teeth, when they're eating, they usually look like they're pushing their tongues forward. They push their tongues forward because they're trying to figure out what to do with their tongues and how they're doing this. So they usually end up pushing a bunch of it forward, and then they have to figure out how to let it go back more when they're eating their food and to swallow for the reflex. But it's basically, if it gets far enough back in the mouth, then they will swallow back in the pharynx area. Also on a note here, your tongue has taste buds that help to sense what's going on with the food. And do you guys feel at your age that your taste has changed into what you like to eat or not, compared to when you were little? And I'm like way older than you guys. Like I definitely more spices on things than I would have done earlier. Your taste buds change as you develop, and generally speaking, younger kids have certain types of taste buds that are a little bit more sensitive, because that helps them from being like poisoned from things before they learn about what's good or not. So they'll taste it. Not gonna take that kind of a thing. It's an interesting thing. Your taste buds, the food must be dissolved in saliva before you have any taste. So it needs to be coated. Your taste buds are these little like lumpy looking like things on your tongue. Have you ever learned about taste, like what regions of your tongue sense different things? So there's like sweet and like savory and bitter, salty. So if you take, and I don't know if they still do this, in human biology lab, when I helped teach that class, there'd be a lab where your lab partner would dip like a long kind of a Q-tip type of thing in some kind of a solution. And some of it's sweet or like salty or bitter or savory, and then they would touch it to the lab partner's tongue to see if you could taste it. And only in certain regions of your tongue do you pick up on certain tastes. Kind of an interesting thing. But yes, you need to have the saliva mixed with that to have taste. Flavor is taste and smell. Have you ever been sick, or if you had COVID? I know when I had COVID, things did not taste the same for me. Like I knew I was sick because my husband made chili, and I love chili, and it was like because it didn't really taste like much. Or if you've ever had a cold when you've been super congested, things taste different because you can't smell it very well. They also do in human biology lab. I don't know if they still do this. So I'm spoiling things if you do that class. They do something where they do some of the different flavors of Lifesaver. And they'll unwrap it, like you have to close your eyes, they'll unwrap it, and you have to plug your nose and then put it in your mouth and see if you can tell which flavor it is, and then be able to smell. Then let go of your nose and be able to smell, and then usually that's when people can figure out what flavor it is. Because the smell impacts, the smell and your taste buds give the whole sense of flavor. So that's definitely why if you're sick, things might have a different flavor for you. Yes?
Is that also like changed or affected by pregnancy with cravings and emotions?
Oh, I don't know the science behind that, but 1,000,000,000%. I don't even know if that's for being pregnant, but also for me when I was pregnant long ago. Smell, just in general. Sorry, I'm just remembering certain smells. I taught when I was pregnant with my oldest child. I remember I was teaching and we were dissecting sheep brains. Okay, you guys think pigs are tangy in their smell? Probably sheep brain. Okay, I ran around Vicks Vapor Rub under my nose. I don't care. Because I was rather smell the Vicks Vapor Rub than the sheep brains, 1,000,000,000,000%. And it definitely tinkers with that stuff and then flavors some things that you think that you would really like. That's also a texture thing too. Sometimes it's so weird on your body. It's just weird. And so sometimes you're like, oh, chicken. I couldn't eat chicken. Just the texture of chicken. No, thank you. And then you're later on, you'll be okay. It's just weird. And then you want certain things and not certain things. And it's just a strange kind of a thing. But smell, most definitely. That's how I knew I was pregnant the second time. It's like my sense of smell was like, I'm like, oh no. I know what's happening. Just the smell. And I was happy, but at the same time, then you remember how smelly things are. Yeah, very much so. Sorry, you got a big reaction from me on that. Ooh, smells. Okay. So yes, and flavors of things definitely change too, because that's your smell and taste. All right, where are we at? So just checking out the mouth. Kind of wild. We've got our teeth right here. Okay, your jaw, the tongue is just huge, so it's like helping to squish things around, keep the food on your teeth. So obviously there'd be teeth on either side of this too. This is just kind of like taking a section right down the center. And then back here we have, like, in terms of your body, down back by the pharynx. Notice on our pig we talked about like the oral pharynx, and then the nasal pharynx was just up on the other side of the soft palate. The pharynx is just generally that common space really where those can meet up. So see how your nasal cavity definitely does connect all with this too. And I think I joked about in lab sometimes, like if you laugh and you close your mouth because you don't want to like spew out your pop, sometimes it still goes out your nose because it's all connected. Root beer especially for some reason, extra fizzy, I don't know. Okay, but notice this is the esophagus right here. So when you swallow, you basically want this little epiglottis to close right here, the windpipe, the larynx, so that the food can make its way all the way down into the right tube. It's weird to think that we have our breathing tube in front of our like food tube. And obviously sometimes when you feel like you've gotten food down the wrong pipe, sort of a thing, like talking, laughing, eating all at the same time kind of a thing, usually if it gets into your larynx, then what do? Cough and cough and cough, because that's your body's reaction to try to get that up. Sometimes, and we'll talk about this a little bit when we get more to the esophagus, sometimes when people choke, it's not because something went into their larynx, it's because they have too big of a something in their esophagus. The larynx is like C-shaped, and your trachea, you have cartilage that's like C-shaped, so it's firm on part of it and flexible on the other side, and your esophagus just runs right along behind it. But, and this is like a cross section, so like chop up the head, look straight down, okay? So if I eat something that's really big in my esophagus here, it extends into the larynx and trachea and blocks that. So sometimes when people are choking, like little kids with a hot dog, I remember my friend, she, like when we were teeny tiny, she ate a hot dog. If you take a bite of a hot dog, that's like a nice perfect circle shape, perfect for plugging up somebody's windpipe by going like just perfectly circular down into the esophagus and blocking all of that. So then you like do the Heimlich maneuver or whatever else to pop it, to jostle that basically, so it's not blocking it anymore. We'll get into this a little bit more later on, but that's all part of this oral cavity area. I want to show you guys this. So, you know, I have a minute or two. That's how long this video is. This is an x-ray of a guy swallowing. He's chewing something and swallowing, and then he's also drinking and swallowing. And I want you to watch what's happening with the oral cavity. I'm going to talk to you along, and you can see that whole color.
Okay, you off? Recording. Okay, video off. Recording. Okay, video off. Recording. Can you now follow it down, please? And back up. Okay, video off. Recording. And back up. Up, up, up. Video off. Recording. Video off. Recording. Swallow. Okay, and forward. Look forward. Swallow again. Okay, video off. Recording.
Okay, so anyhow, weird kind of interesting stuff for the swallowing motion. I will see you all on Friday.